Welcome back to Boggy Creek Life, and today we're going to take a look at Narin's the Crow. Personally, my grail out of my collection. And if you want to know a little bit more about the sculptor itself, check out the other video I have on this kit that I did quite a while back. But today I want to go more over the origin of the crow and my connection to the character and what it means to me. James O'Barr first published The Crow in 1989, but its origins was earlier than that. It dated back to 1981 when, unfortunately, his fiancee lost her life to a drunk driver. And the book was the way of him expressing that loss and pain. Now, I was introduced to The Crow in late 91, early 92. I was in the Army. And I had a buddy that collected comic books, and he was like, hey, man, check this out. And I'm sure he had an original copy, and thinking back, man, that would be something to have a hold of today. Now, I've heard some people often say that the late teens and early 20s are some of your most impressionable years of your life. Like when you become who you're going to be, you know, and I think there's some truth to this. You know, that's why, like, nostalgia exists. And, you know, I went through some tragedies of my own during those years, things that just absolutely rocked my world. I won't get into those. But I think that's why, you know, like the music from that era, like bands like Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots and a lot of the grunge stuff, it really connected with me deeply. And, you know, they weren't afraid to express the pain, and neither was James O'Barr with his Crow. And I think that's one of the reasons why the character stayed with me all these years. Now, you might be asking, hey, Cam, why another video? Well, that's because I'm going to do a full build series on this kit, and I wanted to have a build series for every major medium of kit on the channel, and so this will be my resin project, and it's a good excuse to get him out of the box. Let's go check this beautiful guy out. All right. He is a glorious 16 pounds of resin around there. And a quarter scale. You see, I because I have the camera mounted to the other side of my table, I can't even zoom it back far enough to get the whole thing into the picture. I'll try panning it down a little bit so you can see the boots, the nameplate. And I just have him stuck together right now with blue tack. So it fits a lot better. You don't have all this gapping and stuff. But you can see my hands and the scale and the size. This is a magnificent piece. Let's take him apart and look at it. All right. So, you know, it doesn't come with a lot of directions or anything like that because they're not really needed. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. There's a picture of the buildup. I believe in the other video, if you check it out, I talked to Narin, and I think I remember he said he did this one himself, and he painted this one himself. So not only is he a master sculptor, but he's an excellent builder and painter. And it's got his Narin Sculpt signature on the back. And that's pretty much your directions right there. Now, if you're a fan of the movie, you know this scene. It's right at the end when he's waiting to confront Top Dollar there. Narin took us a little bit of liberties with the pose and that, but you know, it's freedom, it's art. That's what it is. You definitely look at this, and if you're a fan of the Crow, you've seen the Crow, you know what it is. All right, so now while we got you here on the bench wide, let's go ahead and look at the big part and get this one out of the way. This is the heavy. But look at that detail in there. Oh my goodness. I mean, all that texture. This is going to be so much fun to paint and weather and make look like concrete. And it's still even partially hollow. You can see his signature down there. And he sanded it to make it all level. His casting, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, don't quote me 100. I always say that. But I'm pretty sure Narin does all his stuff in-house. Like, he's his own caster and everything. You can see number 49 out of 70, I believe he told me it was. He said he thought it was around 70 that was made. And I didn't purchase this one from him. I got this from a collector stateside who, when I put out the feelers looking for it, I was fortunate enough that I didn't have to pay the shipping from Thailand, because that's where Narin is. Because I remember back in like 2020 or 2021, something like that, I asked Narin how much this was when it was still in production. I can't remember exactly. But then the shipping was almost the price of the kit. And, during COVID, all that stuff was crazy anyways. And so I was like, ooh, I don't think I want to do all that. But anyways, let's get on to the other pieces on the Zoom. Okay, so first off, we'll give you this beautiful nameplate. Now, this came that way. I didn't paint that or anything. Narin had this done that way. I don't know if this is considered photo etching or not, but you can see this is a little thick piece of metal right here. This ain't no little flimsy doodad. The man really puts quality into his kit. That's his name. That's what he stands behind. Now I'll go right ahead and give you the meat and potatoes of the deal. Mr. Eric Draven himself, as played by Brandon Lee. Unfortunately, Mr. Lee met his end in this movie in a filming accident where it wasn't a real round that got accidentally mixed up into the gun. It was the gun had an old lodged blank thing in it, like a wad or something, and the new round in it. And yeah, sad instance indeed. Well, you can see here. Oh, and there's also, what happened? There we go. A little hole right there. And even add the hair hanging down, because Eric Draven always had his hair hanging down. And if you remember the movie, it was just raining all the time. You can see the bullet holes that have just torn the fabric, because, he heals in the movie as long as he has the power of the crow. Look at the detail in that wrapping. And those buttons. Even the seam is flawless. Look at the casting. There's nothing wrong. He's even got the pockets on the back of the leather pants. And they're not really needed, but he's got them there. The hair is beautifully done, beautifully textured. This gives it plenty painting opportunities. And of course, the face. I think it's pretty good, Brandon Lee, but I'm not really even sure that that's what he was shooting for. Maybe he was just shooting for the crow in general, But to me, it looks like Brandon Lee. Beautifully done, and a hefty big size. It's like a baby in my hands. And I think another highlight, I don't know how you can highlight a kit that's a highlight, but the hands folded over each other, beautifully sculpted. Look at the detail in the fingernails, the wrist and hand wrappings. If you remember in the movie, he did this with like black tape. While he was doing his getting ready scene. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Next, the arms. You can see more wear and tear damage, holes. And once again, we have the wraps. Beautifully sculpted. Lots of texture in that. And this is nice and smooth, like a tight-fitting outfit should be. He basically had like a spandex shirt he put on. Something like that. I could, one of the things I could relate to is I was a rocker, always have been. I even I dressed like this, like before and after the army. But just to talk about the fitting here real quick, you can see lines up pretty much perfect, minimal puttying going on, just a little bit of A's around there, smooth it out, and you'll be good to go. Now, that being said, would I attempt this kit as a beginner? Probably not. Once again, Just outstandingly done. Look at the wrinkles and the bends of the muscles. Another rip in the shirt at the top. And from this side, pretty much seamless. And that's because in the challenge of this kit would be the part where you have to attach these and get these in the right spot. You can't attach the hands to the arms first. Now, fortunately, the elbows are resting on the arms of the chair, so that kind of gives you a guide. But you know, you better come correct. And all this we'll be tackling in the videos. The legs, once again, the rope around it, the extra wrapping. I mean, the detail, you can see the wrapping in the rope. Come on now, Narin, you're killing me. The seam in the leather pants, the creases where the pants are like jammed up. You know, because in the movie, he like found these in a dumpster or something. Like everything he found, he was like, he dressed up like from a hobo. No offense to hobos. Used to be one. But you can see the seam. Maybe a little scoring in there. Maybe not. I mean, you remember the scale. But I can't wait to weather these. I love the weather leather. So that's going to be fun. And the other leg is exactly the same. But he doesn't have a wrap on this one. Now this one here, you can see, because of the wrap, I mean, yeah, you got a little gap there. You just fill that right in. But the wrap pretty much covers it up. It breaks the line. This one here, we'll have a little more time with it because we have to actually blend that one together. And, you know, that's not Narin's fault. That's just how you have to make things when you cast them. The boots. These are another highlight in detail. These are military jump boots, and I know this because I used to have a pair when I was in the Army. You have the toe. Now, hopefully this camera will work with me. You can see the stitching in the toe. You can see the stitching in the heel. Look at the eyes of the boots. Now, a friend of mine from Facebook, oh man, I want to say John here. Don't quote me. I can't remember what his last name was, but he was actually building one of these a year or so ago. And he was sending me pictures because I told him that I had one of these. And he did a phenomenal job. He actually found a gauge of wire, which he told me, and ran it through, drilled these out and ran it through for laces. And it looked phenomenal. It looked phenomenal. And I mean, now I have to do that, you know, I have to do that. And the other boots the same, but still just the detail is insane. I mean, that's authentic tread right there. You know, this is just like it's like a little boot. Now, this is another thing that amazes me, and I wish you guys could feel this. I mean, not only does this look like real upholstered leather, like a cushion. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the camera will adjust. Maybe there we go. You can kind of see it a little in the shine. This feels, I mean, obviously it's not soft like it or whatever, but this feels like leather texture. So this is going to be a blast to paint. Along with the back of the chair, the same thing. But look at this detail. I mean, for one thing, look at how straight these wood lines are for like this wood carving of the frame of this chair. You get all the little crinkles from like stretched leather with a pad underneath it. Phenomenally done. All the little upholstery tacks, all evenly spaced. I can't wait to paint this. I can't. And in the back of it, because it was in a church, has the cross on it. It's even got, I don't know if you can see it, but it's even got like a wood grain to it. Very, very nicely done. And lastly, not the stars of the show, but definitely the supporting characters, pun intended. The legs of the chair and the arms. Now, you know, nothing super special, but I mean, they are symmetrical. They do look like they were like easily to paint and look like they were wooden on a lathe, you know. Strengthen the back legs where the most of the weight would sit. The little props for the front arms, once again, beautifully done, symmetrical. I will get in on one of these because they do have the leather pads. And once again, the wrinkling of the leather, it appears to have foam underneath. You know, because I grew up in the late 70s and 80s. And my dad was a body man. And a lot of times there was a upholstery guy around. And I remember seeing, you know, stuff just like this. That's exactly how it looked with the tacks. You know, the people, the upholsterers would be redoing, you know, grandma and grandpa's old timey chair that really meant a lot, like their rocking chair and stuff like that. And this is the kind of stuff they used, you know. Phenomenally done. And you have enough pieces to where it feels like you're doing a model, you know, not like 3D printed. It's not plug and play or plug and paint. You know, a lot of those kits today don't require any filling or whatsoever. So for somebody like me, this does give you a sense of work and accomplishment as like helping to bring it all back together the way it was meant to be. So, you know, I think when I was younger, I probably connected to Eric because of, you know, the anger, the loss, the music, and the way he carried himself, the way he dressed, you know. But, you know, I think the most important thing I probably got from the character was that no matter what life throws at you, you know, it can't rain all the time, you know. And I think that's a pretty good thing for all of us to keep in mind. When you're down in your lowest point, it's just temporary. So, that being said, if you hung around this long and stuck with me to the end, I'm guessing you're my kind of people. So, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button for me, because I would greatly appreciate it, and that's what helps the channel grow. To the returning subscribers, thank you as always. If you're looking for other ways to help support the channel, another free way is if there's a hype button underneath this video. I believe something like YouTube gives you so many points as a viewer to spend a week on your favorite videos to hype them up. And if the video makes the top 100, which it takes a lot of points, but YouTube will push that out a lot broader, and that will ultimately help the channel achieve better reach. I mean, yeah. A few other ways you can help support if you'd like to help me keep the lights on is I do have memberships. There's $3 and $4. $3 Bog Dweller tier, and you get members polls. You get special emojis and something else. Don't kick me in the butt for it. But as Skunk Ape, the $4 level, you get all that, and you also get early access to upcoming videos. And I also do have a Patreon at a simple $3 tier. And what we do over there is we get together to hang out once a month on Zoom. But I'm thinking about switching that over to Discord, where we can have something where everybody can get on and share their builds and everything all the time. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And also, hey, drop in the comments, what's your grail kit? Do you have it? You know, are you in the search of something? I think that makes an interesting conversation. Drop it down below. So I'm working my way down my video list. Got more builds coming up because that's what you guys wanted to see. Current, you know, like I stated earlier, kits of each medium. So keep staying tuned and looking for that. And till we see each other again, be good to each other. Model on. That gasoline I smell? Sit, Rocco, sit. Good dog. Ruff.